Death is an unfortunate reality in professional wrestling, with many stars leaving us far too soon. Some are remembered with touching tribute videos, heartfelt messages from fellow wrestlers, and moments of silence that honor their impact. Others, however, are met with silence. No memorials, no retrospectives, just a quiet erasure as if they never existed. Why does WWE choose to celebrate some while ignoring others? Is it due to controversies, backstage politics, or perhaps more complex reasons? Today, we explore the stories of wrestlers whose contributions to the industry were significant, yet their passing went largely unacknowledged by WWE. Some of these stories may surprise you. Umaga, the dominant force, silenced too soon. Umaga, born Edward Fatu, was one of the most feared and dominant wrestlers during the mid-2000s. With his fierce Samoan warrior persona, he stood out on WWE's SmackDown brand, engaging in high-profile feuds with stars like John Cena, Bobby Lashley, and Triple H. His powerful presence and intense in-ring style made him a standout, but his career was not without struggles. In 2007, WWE suspended Umaga for violating the company's wellness policy after testing positive for banned substances. While initially seen as a setback, his refusal to seek rehabilitation after a second violation in 2009 led to his release from WWE. This marked the beginning of a challenging period for Umaga, both professionally and personally. Despite his success in the ring, Umaga battled ongoing substance abuse issues. Even after his WWE departure, he wrestled on the independent circuit but ultimately succumbed to his struggles. On December 4, 2009, Umaga passed away at just 36 years old due to heart complications linked to drug use. Viscera, the giant forgotten by WWE Nelson Frazier Jr., better known as Viscera, was a wrestling giant both in size and presence. Weighing over 400 pounds and standing tall in the ring, he left a lasting impression on WWE audiences over the years through various personas such as King Mabel and the world's largest love machine. He even won the King of the Ring tournament in 1995 and challenged for the WWE Championship. Despite these achievements, Viscera was never positioned as a top star, and by 2008, WWE released him. He continued to wrestle on the independent scene but struggled with health issues, eventually passing away in 2014 at the age of 43 due to a heart attack. Unlike others, Viscera's passing was not surrounded by controversy, yet WWE offered little acknowledgement, no tribute videos or special mentions, just a brief website notice. Later, his widow filed a wrongful death lawsuit claiming WWE neglected the long-term health impacts of in-ring injuries, but the case was dismissed. Ludwig Borga, the Finnish powerhouse, lost to time. Ludwig Borga, whose real name was Tony Halm, made a striking entrance into WWE in 1993. With a background in boxing and mixed martial arts, Borga brought an intense physicality and credibility to his character. Portraying a fierce, no-nonsense villain with a strong anti-American persona, he quickly became a memorable monster heel. One of his most notable moments was ending the undefeated streak of Tatanka, a fan favorite, which immediately elevated Borga's status in the company. His imposing presence and legitimate fighting skills gave WWE a unique antagonist during that era. However, Borga's momentum was abruptly halted in early 1994 due to a serious ankle injury. Rather than waiting for his recovery, WWE opted to quietly release him, a decision that surprised many given his potential. Unlike other wrestlers who returned from injuries, Borga never made it back to the WWE, and over time his name faded from mainstream wrestling discussions. After leaving wrestling, Helmy's life took a complicated turn, involving controversial political activity and personal struggles that kept him in the headlines but outside of wrestling spotlight. Matt Osborne, the original Doink's forgotten story. Matt Osborne, known to many as the original Doink the Clown, brought a unique and unsettling energy to WWE in the early 1990s. Unlike the colorful and light-hearted clowns one might expect, Osborne's Doink was a sinister character who played mind games with other wrestlers, making him stand out during the WWF's golden era. Before donning the clown makeup, Osborne had been wrestling for years under different names and was a seasoned performer. However, his career and life were plagued by substance abuse problems. By the mid-90s, WWE parted ways with Osborne, and the Doink character continued with other performers, but Osborne himself slipped into obscurity. Despite sporadic wrestling appearances in other promotions, Osborne's personal struggles intensified. He passed away in 2013 from health complications linked to substance abuse and heart issues. WWE did not publicly acknowledge his passing, a decision likely influenced by the company's desire to distance itself from his troubled history. Still, for those who remember, Matt Osborne's original Doink remains a memorable part of wrestling lore. Andrew Test Martin, the star who fought his battles quietly. Andrew Martin, better known as Test, seemed destined for wrestling greatness. Standing tall with a powerful physique and backed by training from legends like Bret Hart, Test arrived in WWE during the height of the Attitude Era, quickly becoming involved in major storylines. His alignment with the corporation and his on-screen relationship with Stephanie McMahon marked him as a key player. Despite holding multiple mid-card titles and showing promise, Test's career was marked by ups and downs, including injuries and wellness policy violations. After being released in 2007, Test struggled with health issues related to wrestling's physical toll. In 2009, Test tragically passed away at just 33 due to an accidental overdose involving prescription drugs. Post-mortem analysis revealed he suffered from chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, a brain condition linked to repeated head trauma. WWE's silence following Test's death reflected the sensitive nature of health issues in wrestling and the company's cautious approach amid growing concerns about wrestler safety. Dino Bravo. The strength lost to shadows. Adolfo Bresciano, better known as Dino Bravo, was one of the most physically imposing and respected figures in WWE during the late 1980s and early 1990s. A proud Canadian powerhouse, Bravo was known for his incredible strength and unwavering dedication to his craft. Throughout his career, he carved out a solid place in WWE as a reliable mid-card star who brought authenticity and grit to the ring. Though he never quite reached the very top of the card, his presence was undeniable, and fans appreciated his hard work and no-nonsense approach. Unfortunately, Dino Bravo's life after wrestling was marked by hardship and controversy. Reports surfaced linking him to organized crime, a stark departure from the world of professional wrestling. This troubled chapter cast a long shadow over his legacy. The wrestling community was stunned and heartbroken when Bravo was brutally murdered in 1993, an incident that shocked fans and peers alike. Despite his contributions to the sport, WWE has never publicly acknowledged Dino Bravo's death. Lance Cade, A Bright Future. Cut short. Lance Cade was a young wrestler with immense potential who seemed destined for success. Trained by the legendary Shawn Michaels, Cade emerged in WWE during the mid-2000s as a powerful and charismatic force. He found a measure of success as one half of the tag team, Cade and Murdoch, alongside Trevor Murdoch. The duo captured the tag team titles and showed flashes of greatness that hinted at a bright future ahead. However, Cade's journey was marred by struggles with painkiller addiction, a battle all too common among professional wrestlers coping with the physical demands of the sport. These struggles eventually led to his release from WWE in 2008. Although the company gave him a second chance and rehired him, Cade never returned to the televised product and was released once again in 2010. Tragically, that same year, Cade passed away at just 29 years old due to heart failure, with substance use playing a significant role. Sean O'Haire, the untapped potential. Sean O'Haire arrived in the wrestling world with an impressive mix of athleticism, size, and natural charisma. He first made waves in WCW, where fans recognized his talent and potential. After WWE acquired WCW in 2001, O'Haire transitioned to WWE with hopes of making a lasting impact. The company initially saw promise in him, even giving him a unique character as a manipulative, cunning heel. Despite this early push, O'Haire's career never fully took off. By 2004, he was quietly released, his potential largely unfulfilled on WWE's grand stage. Following his wrestling career, he faced significant personal challenges, including struggle with mental health and finding stability outside the ring. In 2014, Sean O'Haire tragically died by suicide. WWE did not publicly acknowledge his passing, likely due to the sensitive nature of mental health issues and a desire to avoid controversy. His story is a poignant example of the often unseen pressures wrestlers face and underscores the importance of mental health support in the industry. Chris and Nancy Benoit, wrestling's darkest tragedy. Chris Benoit was widely regarded as one of the most gifted technical wrestlers in history. Celebrated by fans and peers alike, Benoit's in-ring skill and dedication made him a standout star. His career highlights included multiple world championships and matches that are still talked about today for their intensity and quality. However, Benoit's legacy was forever altered by a heartbreaking tragedy in 2007. In an event that shocked the entire wrestling world, Benoit took the lives of his wife, Nancy, and their young son before ending his own life. The aftermath left fans devastated and wrestling communities grappling with the complexity of the situation. Initially, WWE paid tribute to Benoit's accomplishments, but as details emerged, the company moved quickly to erase his legacy from its narrative, distancing itself from the tragedy. Nancy Benoit, who was respected in her own right as a wrestling personality, was also largely forgotten in WWE's public story. Why some wrestlers are forgotten. The question of why WWE chooses to publicly acknowledge some wrestlers after their passing while overlooking others is complex. Often these decisions reflect broader considerations, such as protecting the company's image, legal concerns, and the nature of the wrestler's legacy. Wrestlers who have troubled histories or whose deaths are tied to controversy, substance abuse, or criminal activity may be quietly excluded from official remembrances. WWE's desire to maintain a family-friendly image and avoid negative publicity often shapes how these stories are told or omitted. Yet, despite the company's silence, many fans and wrestling historians refuse to forget. Online communities, independent documentaries, and dedicated historians work tirelessly to keep these wrestlers' memories alive. They celebrate the achievements inside the ring while acknowledging the struggles outside of it. For these fans, every wrestler's story matters, not just the polished, headline-friendly ones. Want daily knowledge drops? Subscribe now. Your brain will thank you later.